Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the episode of Crossroads Calling, where faith meets real life. I'm joined by my co-host Rama, and I'm also joined by Bishop Tifa as well. The title of this episode is called Self-Drive. We're going to be looking at the things which, propel us and elevate us and push us forward to continue doing great things. What is that inside of you which motivates you to better yourself, to better the people around you, to better your environment, your communities as well. How can you build on that? How can you develop it? And how can you discover it, inside you? I think it's a great topic, and I'm excited to get into it today. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll open it up by just asking each one of us, like, what drives you? Because there are so many different factors, and across my life, what drives me has changed from time to time. Before I used to be, I'd say, very selfish in what drives me. I was like, it needs to be about me. If everything that I do ends up benefiting me, then that, to me, that will get me going. That will keep me, my motor ticking. But then the older I get now, I'm also at the point where I'm like, oh, there are certain things that drive me, which is just because of the certain excellence and standards that I want to see and I expect. When it comes to media, for example, I know when there's a good piece of media and there's a bad piece of media. I can now tell the difference. And to be in an environment and watch people make bad media, I wouldn't just sit there, because unfortunately, something in me is just so alive for it that I'd just go there straight and I'd be like, I think we should try this, this, and this, and this. And because I'm sure of myself and sure of the skill that I've built, I know that the media will come back better. And once other people see that as well, they're kind of like, oh, that's good. Like, maybe we weren't maximizing what we had. But then also in certain areas, there are things that intrinsically drive me. And those are things like just wanting better for myself, for my family, those things where it's like, oh, you know what? Even if I don't want to do this today, I know I have to, because in the long run, it's not just about me. It's for a greater cause. It's for the family. It's for, those that will come after me. Those are things that can drive you. So what drives you guys as well?
I think just on top of that, to have ambition is important in life. Just being able to see a goal, have goals in general is important in life. And I think the question of what drives you is such a broad question, because there's so many different areas and so many different reasons why I'm driven in those areas. Like, for people out there, there's different things that drive you in your education, in your job. There's going to be two different reasons in your family, two different reasons. For me, a few things that drive me is obviously my future. Like, I know, as well as so many viewers watching this right now, a lot of young people, you've got a great future ahead of you. You know what I mean? There's so many things that you want to achieve for yourself, that you want to leave to future generations. I think that is a big enough reason to drive. You want to leave behind a legacy. And also, one thing that drives me is I don't want to say, maybe at the end of my life, that I could have done this, I should have done this. And then I'm looking back on regret that there was so much wasted potential and there's so many things I could have done. That's one thing which drives me as well. I don't want to look back in regret on my life, I had the opportunity to do A, B, C, and I didn't do it. Because you only get one life. So I think those are two things that drive me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have answered well. In general, what we should say is that almost every person comes into this world with a heart ambition that you may not realize maybe when you are young, but as you grow, you discover that there are certain things that are just emotionally attached to you. It can be a profession, it can be a sport, it can be maybe even a character. Somebody is doing something, you just find that this little child is just fond of watching wrestling and right. I'm just giving you an example. It's one of the little ones that sometimes you struggle to distract them from certain likes or wants that they have at a very tender age. So there are things that God has put inside us, but also there are things that can develop in you because of where you are at and who is around you and what's happening around you. So there are quite a number of environmental factors, human factors, as well as intrinsic, as you say, inside you. There are things that just motivate you when you just hear Or, for example, let's give an example of sound. There are some people that even from a very tender age, you just discover that this child, who taught him to sing? In fact, that a very tender little one just likes humming and what have you. But they've not been to any maybe musical show. Then maybe they've just heard on the radio or TV and what have you. There's something inside them that just says that this person was born a singer. So what I'm trying to say is that some things can be within you. You were born with them, and I can give examples because in the Bible there are several characters that God says before you were born in your mother's womb, I'd already set you up to be this. Somebody say, I am a stammerer, I can't go and speak. You say, do you know what? The skill and the power, firepower that I put in your mouth when I was creating you cannot even be stopped by your stammering or stuttering lip and what have you. So there are quite a lot of people that you see that there's already innate, inborn, God-given characters in them, strengths. These are strengths that are put inside us. But some of those strengths you develop along the way as you grow. And when something is your strength, and in spiritual terms, we call them graces. There's a grace in somebody. There's a grace. What Joe can do easily, I may not even do even a tenth, 1/10 of it. But Joe just within a minute is done. Because there's a grace upon him. There's a strength. He's so strong in that area, and it's just in him, or it's been developed in him for a long time. So you discover that when Joe comes into a place and he discovers that some things have not been connected well, or things are not working from nowhere, you just discover that he's driven emotionally from within him, or people say it drives him crazy when he sees this thing is not well connected, well, because that's his passion area. It's a passion area. It's a strength that you have had that you feel I'm here to perfect ABC. But in a nutshell, what I can say is that some great men of God in their wisdom have said is that almost each one of us comes into this world as a solution to a particular problem. The way God created us. There's something that we are going to solve. There's something that we are going to sort out that nobody can do better than you. So you come as a solution, come as an answer, and you look through biblical characters. But also in our world, there are people. Bill Gates, I don't know where he started from, but the Meta group, the people started Zoom. We don't know, but maybe from a tender age when they start developing, describing to you how they developed, you discover that this person was surely meant, was born for this. Mm-hmm. And over the years, when you chat with them, the passion, the drive, and what have you, that has gone into them just has driven them to get to the place where they may be, we can say they are ruling the whole world. Because there was a passion in them, a strength that they have been so passionate about, and they are just obviously ardently following it up. And that's the drive that we are discussing here.
I was going to say, I'm glad you mentioned, about Meta and the Mark Zuckerberg, because I think because of my background of tech as well, and throughout the week, sometimes I just find myself thinking, we keep advancing with this technology, but I keep thinking, how do we keep pushing and improving and moving forward into new technologies? Even with recent boom of AI, and as I'm following it every week, I see that it's something new. They improve it every week. There's this new update, and people can create things from a prompt on their phone within seconds. And before, you couldn't do this 10 years ago. You know, and it's like, I'm wondering what's driving these people to continue pushing forward and creating breakthroughs week on week on week. And we can't, and when God gave us this earth, He gave us the raw materials of this earth, you know what I mean? So when you see, all the way from history through the Industrial Revolution until now, how people have progressed and improved on things, it's come from that self-drive and ambition to, want to improve and create a better world for people. So I think that's just very, it's crazy to think about.
I think amongst the general population, I think most people forget that themselves, they are creators as well.
Yeah.
They only believe that only a certain percentage of human beings are allowed to create. And I think that it goes back to what Bishop was saying about, everybody's creating as a solution to a problem. The issue comes, I think, where it's you believe that you can't solve problems, or you're not a problem solver, or you believe that every problem already, there's an answer to it, and for some reason you don't have it. But I think to give an example of the same people that you're referring to with what they're doing with technology, what drives them is the fact that they want to see just how far can humans take technology, just how great can it be. And that strive for greatness, I think it's something that you need to, it comes from within. You know, those people, they started with either very little or they started from a place where for as much resources as you have, it's still going to require you to spearhead this thing and, you know, take it there. Even when I think about the ministry itself and for us as well, to see somebody spearhead, you know, Apostle spearhead that from Malawi to Europe, like, and see that grow. That's not just because of the environment and the people around it. Internally, you have to just believe that that's possible, and then back that up with the work, you know. But I think some people get stuck in the ideology of just the thinking part of it. They just believe they can be great, and because they believe they can be great, they believe that as long as I sit here, the greatness is gonna come and find me. But you need to be driven to go and get what's yours, you know.
And when you look at issues of creativity, as you have rightly put it there, man was created to be as creative as he can. Because even when man was created, for us who follow the Bible and placed in the Garden of Eden, he wasn't told everything that was going to happen there, but you see that from the word God, as long as he was given the tools and the environment, he had the weaponry through which he was going to create his world and make that world a better place for himself. And you know what? Creativity leads you to not just a better place, to an easier lifestyle than it was before you created whatever has been created. I'll give you an example. You discover that the way we were struggling with I don't know you guys when you were born, but for us, phones, we used to have them at a telephone booth outside the house somewhere. So you have to walk there and you have to throw coins there. Some coins would not work. And then there was a thing that you would press for the coins to come again so that you try it. And struggle. Then on the phones came into our house, but you had to scroll, to do that, and then you wait for it, and so many things. And when the cell phone was coming, the first types of cell phones, we were calling it a brick. It was a big one, and it had the and what have you. Nobody thought that today will be speaking of phones even on a watch, on a smartwatch, and what have you. And that's why the smart arena has come from making it smart, making it neat, and not to have the whole brick there in front of you as a phone, making your table to be as clean as this one. In those days, it would have been a big phone there, a big laptop, a big computer with a big TV with its hunchback and what have you, all those things. But people have made it easier and lighter. And that's the same thing with people who have passion or self-drive for something, whether it's in a professional person or like people in the medical world. They are very happy if they sort out somebody's problem of sickness. So to a doctor, when you go to him, a nurse or somebody, the medical officer, they'll tell you, we now prescribe or when what I studied at school, or I look at the symptoms, and I think it can be sorted out. I'm so excited when I hear that has worked or whatever, because they've solved somebody's problem. And that's what drives them to say that when they see a sick person, they just want to make that person better, or they just want to take all their time to go after hours, work after hours, or take maybe this emergency, because it's their passion, it's their drive. So they are already self-motivated because of the things that they've come to create or recreate or solve. So it's the same with us in various areas, professions and what have you. You discover that when you allow the creativity part of you that God put inside you to work, things become lighter and easier, both for yourself and even the people you are serving or you are working for and what have you. So, to me, issues of self-drive are very important because we live with them day in, day out. And it's the place that takes us beyond the borderline where many are faltering at or where many are stopping, halted by certain things. Self-drive takes you beyond the horizon of the ordinary, where everyone says, it has ended here. Self-drive tells you, no, there's a solution. Self-drive will tell you, there is a way out. Self-drive will say, no, we can work things out. That's why at the end of the day, people with self-drive, they are problem solvers. That's what we are saying. Yeah, for yourself and for many others. Because self-drive will tell you, okay, it has not worked this way, but I've seen it even in you guys where we have reached a certain person, this thing cannot be done. But you say, I'll work out something here, I'll do it.
Yeah.
That's self-drive,
Yeah.
because you know that for sure these things were meant to work. There was an African saying, it's not like a general proverb, but maybe in my family or the people I grew up with or among who are ahead of me, they used to say, what has no hands cannot stop somebody with the hands. They used to say that. So what were they trying to refer to? They were trying to say that if I'm struggling with a cell phone, I'm struggling with this bowl of flowers and what have you, this flower vase, and there's something that is not working right, I should not give up, because I am more than able, I'm more capable with what God gave me to make sure that this thing can be restored or can be worked on, because it cannot sort itself out. It doesn't have the hands, the feet, the eyes, the reasoning capacity I have. So in short, they'll just say, what doesn't have hands should not stop somebody with hands, or what doesn't have hands should not be a problem to somebody who has hands. You can use the feet, you can use eyes, you can use ears, but what that really said to me was that we human beings can do the impossible, can do many things that we always limit ourselves. No, I can't do it, I can't do it. Those things don't have hands. It's you who has now, you have to drive them. It's you who have to move them. It's you who have to do something about whatever you are not happy with, or whatever is not happening well, or working well, functioning well in that thing. Yeah. So that adage, it's an odd adage that my elderly people used to say, but I believe it strongly that for sure over the years it has helped me. So I'll work it out, I'll do something, and that's what self-drive tells you. You can do something about it. You can work it out. They will know Joe. Just give this to Orama. They will know him. Something by the time I come, something will have worked out here.
Yeah.
That's what those are people who self-drive that you can refer a problem to.
With self-drive, I was just speaking, I was just thinking, I think I think all of us were born with drive to improve and do better, but I think there's some people who have that relentless drive. Those are the most successful people in the world. But I know there's also some people, I mean, we all have drive, as I've said, but we'll hit a wall, and I won't necessarily say they stop there, but it can definitely slow them down. And they might not give up, but they might think, okay, maybe I can't. Because there's been those people in life who've given up on things before. They've had ideas, they've had business plans, they've had so they want to do, but they may have had that drive in the past, and then they may have encountered, maybe not once, but maybe 3 times, and said, okay, I think that's not for me, I've given up. But I guess my question is, like, how do those people overcome that? Because clearly they've had the drive before to accomplish goals in their life before, I'm sure of, and maybe this one they may have not been able to, but they've just fallen short. But how do you motivate those people to keep that fire burning? I think that's the best way to say it. Keep that fire burning and keep that drive pushing.
I think it's interesting you say that, because when it gets to a point of where your drive is kind of slow. Drive is actually just momentum, basically. Yeah. It's just a continuous momentum of applying pressure to something until forcing it to change, essentially. I think the case of drive is, if I'm going this fast and suddenly you make me have to slam my brakes, it's going to take me a bit of time to get back to 60 or 70 miles per hour, But I think most people make the mistake of, you slam the brakes and you think, that's it. You're now waiting for permission to have drive again, where it's like, it's not something that other people can qualify for you. You have to qualify it yourself. You have to say, yeah, I'm going to get up and going. But I also think people underestimate just how strong drive is. Because for us, we've given examples of what people do with, drive in a positive light. At the same time, anything that goes drastically negatively wrong, somebody had the drive to make it go that wrong. They didn't want anything, positive to come from a certain situation. And I think there are some people that you have to look at where it's like, in spite of what you believe about them and the light they're regarded in, because of their drive to see a certain thing come into fruition, politicians are probably the best example. Regardless of how the general public may feel about it, if there is something that they want to pass through, they're going to pass that through because they've already thought about it. They've already decided this is how it has to be. I think for most people, when they stop, it's because that conviction in them is gone. They're not as convinced anymore that maybe I can do it. But if you already knew the result was going to be great, you don't apply yourself the same. You know?
Yeah.
You need the uncertainty.
Do you know what I've been seeing? I don't know if you've been seeing these like on social media. There's this guy who goes around to billionaires and he asks them, "Well, how did you get rich?" Yeah, that guy. Instantly, "Oh, can I have 5 seconds of time? Tell me how you got rich." You know, and there's a pattern. They always say that. He always asks, "Oh, did you come from a lot of money?" No, I didn't come from a lot of money. No, I came from nothing. I had loads of setbacks in life. But they always give us this like positive story of like, I just had to keep pushing. I was at zero. I put in all the money I had, and it's always this story of determinism, how they kept pushing, how they put all into it, and I think there's a pattern there of those people had that continuous drive, even though when they hit rock bottom, to continue pushing and to the point where they're successful.
Yeah, actually, have you heard of the phrase "pull up your socks"?
Yeah.
That phrase looks simple, but it's just what we are speaking about: momentum gone low because you met a broke, or as he's saying, that many of these great people who have done lots will tell you that I fell at one point or the other, but I pulled up myself. Pulling up your socks, it's like a phrase that is used for, okay, there are so many sporting activities, so we're not just going to go into one, but it's like somebody is in a sporting activity where the socks are part of your attire that protects you, whether you fall or what, or whether you are struggling or you are wrestling and whatever. At the end of the day, if you fall down, the socks are supposed to protect you, cushion you from whatever harm the floor or whatever surface you hit. Now, pull up your socks means that as you're in the process of trying to get there or to do the business, with that momentum, that something, maybe your opponent or the force of something has caused your stocks to go down. Now, it's for your own good to make sure that you don't stop there, you don't lose that momentum, you pull them back again for as many times as you can. It's like grouse when you are fighting and the grouse has gone off, they stop the match, they stop the fight, so that they tie the strings again and they tie you stronger. Same with football boots. When you are playing football, the momentum is there, but if one boot just goes off, you cannot, the momentum is lost. You still have to stop, tie it properly, strengthen it. Sometimes they have to take you out of the field to make sure that you tie the loose ends and come back there. That's what pulling up your socks is all about. So in life, momentums are the times that you can get to your point of greatness. But unfortunately, there are stoppages that come. There are barriers, but there are also hindrances, forces that run contrary to the direction you are taking. And those are the things that will pull down your socks. Those are the forces that will take away your gloves or your boots and what have you. So what do? You don't stop as in literal stopping. When you talk of somebody as literally stopped, you don't stop that way. You stop to pull up your socks. You stop to tie your gloves. You stop to tie your boots and tightly so that you don't lose that momentum for a long period of time. Because momentum gained and lost for good is difficult to hatch again or to pick up again. So don't lose time in pulling up your socks. If you have a self-drive, you don't lose time in pulling up your socks. You make sure that the moment you realize that, oh, I am uncovered, I'm exposed. Maybe I just need a bit of a rest, but within a period of time, within a short period of time, you've pulled up your socks, you've pulled up yourself, you are going just like you are saying here. Because momentum gained is taking you to places or to horizons you have not been before. But we've got forces that come to slow down our momentum or to stop us. And the moment you lose that momentum, you lose quite a lot of stretch and what have you. It's like the way we say sometimes that somebody has been going 2 steps forward, but then when something hits, it goes 4 steps backwards. That's causing you to lose momentum and what have you. So anything that happens in this life, especially when it is a big challenge, or it is something that is more or less stopping or halting your movement, just to know that this is supposed to be a springboard. And that I should say that I've already lost a few hours and I'm not going to slow down anymore. I'm going to even speed up, because you should pick yourself up with even more zeal, more passion, and the momentum should even go further, because maybe like a pilot, he knows. I like pilots because they tell you we are leaving Ethiopia at 8:10. We were supposed to leave at 7:25. There was some problem of the aircraft. But don't worry, we'll get more momentum as we go up there, and we arrive Heathrow Airport. Exactly. And they do it.
Yeah,
and
it's incredible.
they even come and this is something. We always make it on time. We left 45 minutes, but yeah, what did they do? They pulled up their socks and they gathered momentum, and instead of slowing down in some places where they were going to slow down, they just went full force about it. And that's what self-drive does, because it tells you that, you know what, momentum lost at one point should just spur you on to even to a further height, or with more strength and vigor. Say, you know, I can make it. Because if there are forces that are coming, it means I'm getting somewhere. So that's how it should be.
And I was going to say, I'm glad we're talking about pulling your socks up, because that I'm putting emphasis on the part that you have to do it yourself. Like, when you get down,
Pull you up.
You're
on
like,
your own.
exactly, like, because I know last time one of the episodes we spoke about external factors and how people around you in the environment can, you know, motivate you. But there's going to be times when those people are not there to pick you up and to help, and you've got to find it in yourself to get up and keep going. You know, so I think that's just so important. The emphasis on, like, you know, you have to get yourself up and pull your own socks up. Because people won't be there.
I like this phrase. I know that it's just a common saying. Dust is yourself. People use a lot of that word. Dust is yourself. You know, it has its own negativity, but I think, to me, I look at more positives from it. And sometimes when I preach, I even say, blessing is yourself. You know what it means? Sometimes you can't wait for people to bless you.
No.
And all the time when you wait for people, and that happens with maybe some people, even in ministry, in service, in what have you, every Sunday you want people to come to pat you, hey, Rama, that was good.
Great.
Oh, Rama, oh, that was job. Oh, so every Sunday you finish, there you are on the door waiting for people to come and tell you, hey, Rama, when they don't tell you, then next week you don't see the normal Rama, you don't see the normal job. Why? Because you say, maybe people, no. Blessing is yourself. You should sometimes do a work and say, but I'm really happy. I did this. I'm there. You should go back home and look at your product, and go back home and watch your Facebook Live and see your songs there. This was well highlighted. Oh, there was this event happening, and last week there were pastors and their wives speaking from the branches. They want to see themselves. They said, how was it? How was it? Oh, I'll send you, see yourself. And because sometimes learn to bless yourself. If people cannot bless you, or the same person who blesses you, well, people are people. One day they've woken up, they may not say, or those who say to you are not there that day, what happens? So, when people say dust is yourself, of course I'm not looking at the self-drum beating, no. But to know that you know, many of the things depend on you, yourself. What do you do yourself, even when the chips are down? Can you pick yourself up and say, no, it's not about people. I'm not there maybe to please people only or to what, but I'm there to do something that at the end of the day, when I look at it, I can show somebody. I can train somebody, say, look at this way. And they say, hey, can I do that? And what I do? This is got it away, and what I do? So from within yourself, learn to assess yourself and learn to adjust also where you feel, I would have done better and what I do. Because dust is yourself, or blessing is yourself. Yeah.
You know, the main thing that you guys have given, which was I was about to touch on, but essentially the main thing I would say to people watching this is, if you find a place where your self-drive isn't pushing you where you want to be, or you found yourself that you stopped, pulling up your socks is an action. Dusting yourself is an action, blessing yourself is an action. The only way to regain that momentum again is to take action. And I find that most people, they don't know, I don't know which action to take now. I don't know, which one to do now. And it's genuinely just as simple as starting. It's genuinely that simple. And I know sometimes you want an experimental answer and a big grandiose plan, but it's really not that complicated. Genuinely just start. How did you get the momentum in the first place? You had a passion for something, you started doing the steps, and you built that momentum again. Go back and do that again. It's repeatable, you know. The person who made the first ever light bulb, I always say, the amount of times you have to try to make a light bulb, and how do you go around and tell people, oh guys, I'm trying to create a light bulb? They're gonna look at you like, what are you talking about? Unfortunately, we don't have the same level of thinking or the drive to create a bulb of light that we can start turning on. But he was taking action towards those things. So guys, please take action in everything we do. Take action.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Just to echo what you said, yeah, taking action and just getting the ball rolling. Because I know for me personally, there's been so many times where like I've not wanted to do something, or in my mind, I wanted to do it, but I'm paralyzing myself in my mind, thinking, should I just overthink it? And times I realized when I've just been quiet and just done it, just done the thing without thinking too much about it, the ball goes rolling, and I'm able to carry that momentum and carry that consistency throughout. So I think, you know what I like, Nike slogan, just do it. Simple as that. Just do it. That's it. Sometimes you just have to just do it and just get on with it, and then you can see all these other things will carry over. So yeah.
But also start from somewhere. When you feel that the things are not working for you, or things are not working the way even if you start slowly, because the momentum you're speaking about, it's gained over time. So sometimes do the little things that you can do. I always tell people, do the rest. The rest can be done by able hands of people who are there to perfect, but do the least or the best you can do. So you start pushing yourself, sometimes slowly, but when you get, because there are certain people that they really need a push. They really need a little push, just a little push. But when they gain the momentum, it's difficult to stop them.
Yeah.
But the others who just start with full thrust and full throttle, they are gone. We are in different types of makeup. The way God made us, others are slow starters, others they are fast runners from the word go. Others they can maybe average up as they are going on. But at the end of the day, from whatever angle you are coming, you need to do something yourself. A little push, a little talk. The people who have made impact in this world, they started with a small chat somewhere. Great couples, they started with a little talk somewhere. And great even students that have become masters, they started in a small class somewhere where they were learning the little basics here and there, and as they started applying them and what have you. But the key there is the self. You yourself. What are you doing? You yourself, where are you heading to? Are you seeing yourself heading towards somewhere in the next 3, 4, 5 years? Don't just look at others, but look at yourself and what drive is in you. Those things should motivate you. You should be a self-motivator to say, you know what, in 3 years' time, I will not be where I am or who I am. And I know slowly, even if I would be doing these things 2, 3 times a year, by the time I hit the 3rd year, I will be somewhere and what have you. So those little starting steps, that starter pack that you can start with, will still take you somewhere one day.
Sure.
Yeah, people say Rome was not built in a day, but it was like something that started small. Yeah, it started as a little seed. The big things we see today have come from a little seed. And when we'll be looking at the seed principle, we'll discover that there's more drive in a seed. I'm talking of than people out here. Because those seeds are determined. When a seed knows that it needs light, if you put it in the ground, it will sprout whichever way. Even if there's a rock, it will try to go around because it's looking for light. Until one day it will come out. Some seeds have developed in baskets. Some seeds have developed in packets. We bought things at Sainsbury as the Tesco.
Yeah.
And you've left something, some potato, some Irish potatoes there, and you forgot them. You discover they've sprouted.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the power of a seed. That even because all they need is a little light or a little air, somewhere they'll start growing, trying to look for. So that shows you the safe drive that is inside in any living organism. So we'll look at the seed principle and see how we can compare with the seed. Because the seeds are a very good phenomenon when it comes to safe drive.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look at the seed. You plant a seed black, dark. But what it will bring you flowers, yellow, green, or white. There's so lots of. What about a human being?
Exactly. Yeah. You're better than the seed, surely.
And you know, I'm so glad you mentioned that about the seed, because something I always think about and I always used to motivate myself is that with seeds, you can plant the seed today and you might not see the fruits of that years later, you know what I mean, 5-10 years later. And I think a lot of people, they, start something, I want to see results instantly. Want to see, can I, I'll plant the seed. And it might take a week, 2 weeks, or 3 months, or whatever time it might take, and they might not see any growth at all. But I've seen people do things years ago, and then 10 years later, I remember because I planted the seed back then, and now look what's happened. So I think that's just a testament to, like, you're right. I want to talk about seed principle one day.
No. Our next episode, we'll look at all those things, because those are the things that we get a lot of teaching and information about self-drive from. There's so many things. There are animals, there are certain animals, when you study them, you look at the determination that is in them. Small animals, but they are they like ants. I want us one day to speak about the ant kingdom. An ant can kill a lion, one ant. It can kill an elephant. Just enter into the That's the same seed principle. We are saying that small thing that knows that if I'm planted in my right environment, I can pull down a huge mountain. So and these are small beings, little creeping things, little creeps or little flies out there. How about the human being whom God has said is the superior created being, who is in his own image and likeness? We are more than capable of doing quite a lot and vastly. If you look at even the damage that man is doing to the world, man is a thinker. What is that? Self-drive. Even those who are doing ruined things, but when you look at something, the damage that has been, even a theft, to say, this person studied. You guys know what I'm saying. It's not a one-day thing. You know that this person has been, it's painful.
It's painful,
people in the world, Jesus one time said, sons of this world are wiser in that generation than sons of light. But these people, they know, and one person can do a lot of damage to a group, and all of us as a church, we're crying, one person. So when I look at that, it gives me, you know what? I can do. I'm much more than that. I'm much more than that wicked.
Of course.
You know. So it's painful, but you look at it, you think, but man, what is in man it's just when something happens. That's why you know how powerful man is. That whatever is inside man can damage or make things, great things happen.
Well, there you have it, I guess. Guys, you can really do just about anything you can put your mind to. Just all you need is a little bit of drive, and you can get there. So thank you for joining us as we tackle these next few weeks of self-drive. We'll look at the seed principle. We'll be looking at good self-drive, bad self-drive, a multitude of factors, but also we'll be giving you actionable steps as to how you can actually pick yourself up and get going. Thank you so much for joining us.
And also, before you cross, to tell our audience that we would want them also to give us questions on these topics, because those questions, they help us to cover whatever is also appealing to them and but also to clarify certain things. So at a certain point in time, we'll
be doing another Q&A.
So that from there we develop what is also relevant from what they have picked and what have you.
Absolutely. And with that being said, there'll be a poll out on Crossroads later tonight. Click it, let us know what you think, give us some feedback, and also ask us your questions, and we'll do our best to get to them throughout the next coming weeks. But for now, I've been your host, Aroma. I've been with Joy, and we've been joined with Bishop Tipa, and this has been Crossroads Calling, where faith meets.